Stephen A has been firing on all cylinders today with attacking LeBron. He's been attacking him left, right, in every way possible that you can attack LeBron. He's been handing LeBron that business, as they would say. But one of the attacks Stephen A has been levying against LeBron is that LeBron is upset at Stephen A for not making LeBron the GOAT. That Stephen A has said that for years he's had Michael Jordan as his GOAT and LeBron as the second greatest player of all time. That he puts LeBron at number two, and LeBron feels insulted by this. Now, first off, I have to say I do have Michael Jordan as the GOAT, number one all time on my top 10 list. I also have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar ranked ahead of LeBron and a few other people. I'll make a video about that one of these days, but I definitely think LeBron is grossly overrated when people say he's the GOAT or the second greatest player of all time. But I just wanted to throw that out there. Now, going back to Stephen A saying that LeBron's upset at him for not making him the GOAT, I definitely believe that. LeBron is a narcissist. A narcissist will turn on you even if you praise them like 99.9% of the time. You could be just giving them their flowers every single day, saying every great thing imaginable about them. And there'll be that one day when you offer just like that minor criticism. So like, just like, hey, well, I think blah, blah is better than you at this thing right here. And they'll get emotional, they'll erupt, they'll go crazy, despite you saying that they're great like 99 million times. They just can't handle just even the slightest ounce of criticism, even if it's not like criticism coming from a place of hate, just a place of just being objective and just being just honest and trying to be helpful. They can't handle it. They just don't do it really. They don't do it well. So I definitely believe that. I think LeBron wants to so badly control the narrative about his legacy. And he already has a great legacy in my eyes. He's a top 10 player of all time. Excuse me, depending on where you rank him. Just he could be as low as number 10, as high as number 1, but he's guaranteed a definite slot in the top 10 based on his career accolades, what he's won, the championships he's won, the MVPs he's won, that he's easily top 10. There's no question about it. That's undisputed. I feel like he's definitely legit top 10 player. Most guys would be happy with that legacy. I think most guys would love to be unanimously a top 10 player of all time. And that would be good enough for them. They can live a great life after basketball and just be happy and content with their status. I look at my favorite player of all time, Tim Duncan, who I have in the top 10. I think he's easily a top 10 player also in that list. But Tim, he doesn't really get talked about now with his career being over. And you've had some people try to slight him by saying he's not a top 10 player. Even with that, he just doesn't give a shit. He lives his life. He's happy. He does his own thing. He's in the background, just not giving a shit. He's happy with what he's accomplished. He's content with what he's done, and he's fine with that. Just he lives a happy life from what I've heard. LeBron, to me, is like the complete opposite, that he can never be happy no matter what. Despite all the success he's had, despite all the money he's made in his life, despite all the adulation he's gotten from all these bandwagon fans, these sicko fans, that none of this is good enough. None of this is good enough. He wants godly worship. He wants everybody to worship him. And if everybody's not worshiping him, then it's not good for him. He's not happy. He's upset. He's frustrated. And I think that's going to be his undoing, because honestly, it doesn't matter how great you are. You're never going to have 100% of people like you or worship you. That's just not how life works. The only way that can happen is if you're a dictator in some place like North Korea, for instance, Kim Jong-un. I'm sure people worship him because obviously they have no choice. It's their life is on the line. But outside of just being a dictator, you're never going to get like 100% compliance or worship or any of that stuff. If you have just succeeded in life being able to take care of yourself, put a roof over your head, and you actually have a family that loves you, you have succeeded in my eyes. You already succeeded. Anything after that is just a plus, bonus, just a gravy, as they would say. But LeBron, I just don't think he has that awareness. I don't think with narcissists they ever gain that. So LeBron will always be a miserable person, an angry person, despite having it all, despite having everything imaginable that 99.9% of people will never achieve in their lifetime. It's just not happening. But this man will never be happy. So what I would say about the haters, even for the haters, they can take joy in the fact that LeBron will never be happy because he'll never be anointed as the GOAT. I don't see him ever winning this argument with Jordan. Jordan's awards and achievements just dwarfs what LeBron did, and Stephen A pointed that out when he listed all the achievements in comparison. Just there's no competition, but LeBron has been determined to shape this narrative I would say the last 9 years since he won that third championship in Cleveland. After number 3, he was talking all this shit about how he's chasing the ghost of Jordan and all this other stuff, and there's no one else he's chasing anymore. So that to me showed his extreme arrogance, and he's been trying to shape the narrative for that long by just doing stuff, by saying stuff like, well, I have longevity on him. I'm better than him. Oh, yeah, well, I'm a better person than him. I've done more for my community than he ever did. So because I'm a better person than him, I should be GOAT. No, that doesn't qualify you as GOAT by being a better person. And who are you to judge that you are a good person or a better person than Michael? That's up for the people to decide. I'm always leery of people who say I'm a good person or I'm kind-hearted, I'm great. No, you don't get to make that judgment. Your community and the people around you, your peers, those are the people who decide whether or not you are actually a good person. You don't get to say that. That's not how the game works. But that was one of his arguments for being better than Jordan. And I do think subtly, even Bronny being in the NBA is another jab at Jordan. It's like, hey, I'm the GOAT because my son was able to play in the league and your sons were never able to play in the league. When in reality, Jordan's sons are probably as talented as Bronny was. They played college basketball. The only difference is Jordan didn't put the hype machine behind them. If he did the Nike branding, the hype machine that he had, the PR, all the other crap, I'm sure Jordan could have gotten his kids drafted in the league, gotten them a contract, and they would have been absolutely trash like Bronny. But Jordan had much more respect and love for the game, not to trash it that way. But LeBron doesn't have respect for the game. It's all about how he's bigger than the game, and the game needs him more than anything, more than he actually needs the game. That's the issue with him. So I definitely believe Stephen A about what he said about LeBron hating him and being upset at him and wanting to be his enemy simply because Stephen A won't make him the GOAT. And yeah, that's legit because Stephen A is a big media talking head. I think the final parting shot really was when Stephen A said, hey, once you're retired, I'm still going to be here. You won't. As a player, you won't have that influence, but I will. So I get to determine your legacy. I'm still going to be here for a very long time, and you're just going to have to deal with it, especially now with that contract ESPN gave to me. And I think that eats LeBron alive. He'll continue to try to shape the narrative, but I don't think he'll win this battle when it comes to the narrative and his legacy and whatnot. I just don't see him winning this battle even after retirement. If anything, I think it gets weaker because the media will fear him less because he'll have no influence. Once you're no longer a player, your influence is pretty much gone from influencing the media for a large degree, I would say. But that's all I had to say.